but I trust you said smart things. We are into the game, though. Here we go. Team Impulse looking to make it 3-0. Team Dignitas looking to make a comeback. We've seen in the wildcard regions, many teams started out 0-2 and actually took at least 1, maybe even 3 games in the case of Japan back. Comebacks are certainly possible, but as the bans do not change up at all so far in this series, we'll see what the strategies do.
Yeah, well, they have switched sides back. This time they still don't want to give Rush in Italy, which I respect that. It's a smart choice, but the Maokai ban impacts great Maokai, but he's also a great Shen. So there's no full reason for Team Impulse to switch this up. The only thing would be Team Dignitas taking Kog'Maw.
I don't see how Dignitas think they're going to win this one differently than they did the previous 2 games. They've been getting outclassed pretty much in every single role. And they haven't switched up anything, so Impulse can just play the exact same thing. And as they said, not have to show a different strategy. Helios does get his Rek'Sai this time around. That is one.
Yeah. They added the Twisted Fate ban in that they had pulled into game 2. And kept that one ever since game 1.
It's most likely going to be 2 different things, for sure.
Well, they're going to steal away Kog'Maw.
Yeah. I think we expected that. That seemed to be a pretty likely scenario. Team Dignitas hoping they can play the comp themselves. With Janet being open, Janet is great into Leona, in my opinion. I think it's great into Alistar as well. So, as Irene said, Bash Brothers, Impulse, 3 melee champions in a way.
2.5?
2.5.
Right.
Up to 3.
We'll go 2.5.
Fair enough. But yeah, Bash Brothers, they are lower damage to the spectrum. Shen and Alistar probably 2 of the the 2 least damage melee champions in those roles.
Yeah, I don't know about Bash Brothers.
All right,
Shen
that's
and Alistar.
a fair point.
They're definitely tanks.
Yeah.
Tank Brothers just doesn't sound as cool.
No, it does not sound as cool.
Super Tank Brothers, the new sequel.
Tank Trio.
Tank Trio, okay. Got some alliteration there.
Well, that definitely does signal that Impulse are going to need some more damage from Gate this time. And I'd expect them not to go back to the Lulu. I'm very curious what Apollo will play if he does go for the Sivir and they try and just rush down this Kog'Maw.
Yeah, I wonder if Team Dignitas is going more disengaged as
well.
Oh,
yes!
There it is, back against the wall.
Wild card.
Pull it out. Yeah, exactly.
Gankplank locked in. The Thresh for KiWiKid as well. A lot of playmaking available. Now Team Impulse have to pick their last few champions.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to pick their mid laner blind. So expect a generic mid laner from Gate, probably the Orianna or the Azir, 2 things we've seen him have some success on in the past. And the main question will be what Apollo ends up playing. Will he just go for Sivir because that's what he did more than any other player played any other champion, 11 Sivir games and 18 games for Apollo, or does he go something different?
It is one of those options, Jatt. See which one ends up being. I think you're right about a lot of these, though. Azir being hovered in. Apollo, if he wants to do damage, Vayne is an option. Jinx is an option as the 2 highest damage AD carries remaining. I think it's actually moving the Tristana. It is. So, still a fair bit of mid-game power with that pickup.
Yeah, they can definitely burn down some turrets. You know, with the amount of global pressure advantage that Impact has had over Gamsu, being able to have a Tristana means that if you get that small opening, you can take an objective extremely quickly. Thing is, Gankplank here, wildcard as you said, into the mix. He's got a semi-global influence with his ultimate, plus he can apply a lot of pressure to tanks with his barrel chains, being able to do a large chunk of damage, cutting through armor. The thing is, you know, getting to be able to use those barrels effectively does definitely take some time. Gamsu is a very good player, so I do have confidence that he's been able to get used to the rework.
Yeah, it's going to be rich this game.
Feels like a poke comp that they just pulled together at the last second, too.
Really slick.
AP Kog'Maw had been the norm until recently, and threw us for a little bit of loop. Team Dignitas may have seen it coming, but Kog'Maw, Corki are the 2 you most normally see paired together if you're running the double poke, just like that. And the Gankplank does kind of fit in that mold well. If he gets AD, full AD Gankplank, those parlays crush you later in the game.
And even though he can't stop the teleports of Impact, he's got a global of his own, so he can, in a way, match Stand United in his own version as Gankplank, as well as just teleporting himself. So this could be very interesting for Team Dignitas. I'm also curious what build Gamsu goes for. keep in mind, with a Trinity Force, a Parlayed Barrel has like 700-ish base damage that you can't crit anyway. So I wonder if he builds more damage or not, or just goes tank from after the Triforce. It'll be fun to watch for as the teams load into the game. Take a minute to update your vote over on Twitter. Send hashtag TIP winner, hashtag DIG win to @Elable Esports. I have a feeling the toy Gangplank will be maybe a vote upper here for the guys at the Dignitas fans. We're getting ourselves into the game. Can Dignitas pull it back if they lose? This is the end of their season. Team Impulse to win. Can keep it on towards the semifinals.
I like the direction they're going, putting more faith in Gamsu, giving him the ability to carry here. See if he can utilize this Gangplank to take over. But I do worry about Shiphtur on this AP Cog mid. It's going to take a while for him to become effective. They're versus a Tristana who's going to knock down outer turrets very quickly. And it will be up to Dignitas to wave clear. Buy themselves some time.
What is worth noting is the 2 times Shiphtur has played AP Kog'Maw this year, even though he has lost lane, they have won both of those games. So Shiphtur, CS-wise, loses lane on most champions he plays. You may as well give yourself an incredible late-game scaling champion who can then execute with safe positioning. Those are things that Shiphtur is strong at, and it does fit the poke style Dignitas may be able to play.
And just the way Kog'Maw even scales up, like if it's kind of a rumble mold where you just need that one item in level 11 and you're fine, and that's Shiphtur's not going to miss a bunch of XP. So I agree with you, Jatt. I think the AP Cog can work very well. The poke comp could be quite strong.
Yeah. The only real peel they have, though, be some Thresh movement here. I mean, Helios can try and play defensively with Rek'Sai, but the Alistar, Elise, Shen coming for you can be difficult to avoid.
Yep.
So
no cleanse on Kog'Maw, gonna make it hard.
Luck.
We might see Kiwi have to go Mikhails as a result. And here we get ourselves into the mix. Interesting, yeah, a barrel start for the Gangplank. Auto attack the monster, trigger the thing.
Yeah, and we saw this last game as well. Helios actually smites the Krug from over the wall to get the every 6th hit stun in the jungle. Since Gamsu is tanking early for him anyway, it just speeds up both of the process pretty well. He gets the jungle buff he wants, helps his duo lane clear, doesn't take damage, and then will take even less damage later in the jungle because of the stun he gets from the Krug.
That's pretty solid here. So pretty fast jungle. You can see that Gamsu and Helios will practice this, and they are well on their way. 3 camps already taken down as Team Impulse just starting theirs. So
no, they're even up 3 camps apiece.
I mean, in total, but Wolves are like still getting killed as these guys are like leaving the
well,
place.
the duo lane is just on the other side of the map.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm super dumb. Okay, I miscounted. Good call. Good correction.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Phreak.
No, I was wrong.
Honest
I
mistake.
deserve. Or was it a dishonest mistake? Maybe I was trolling you guys the whole
So
time.
it does open up this weak side end for Dignitas up here. Adrian's getting in here. Is level 2 on the Alistar. Decent disruption available for him. And Helios going to try and solo as Gamsu runs to try and get lane experience.
Oh, can you get a full reset on it?
It's changed targets 2 times.
Right. One more reset and it would break, but just headbutt him again.
And
it'll be real dangerous.
KiWiKid moved on in.
All right, there's the smite though, used on blue buff, just to, I guess, make sure it doesn't get taken away. No smite benefit for him, no mana pool, but we are on to the lane matchup here. Gamsu in the 2-on-2 alongside KiWiKid.
Yeah, let's see how Impulse handled the reverse situation. Last time, in the first game, it was CoreJJ had the Tristana, and they were not able to take down the turret before swapping back. So when it was Apollo on Kog'Maw, Corki very similar with a level 6 poke ability. When he swapped back, he had a big advantage in the lane. Shiphtur, taking a lot of damage under turret though.
Nicely played by Gate. Once again, he pushes the first few waves in, feels safe, gets a lot of pressure down. And you're seeing him play almost every single time, very far up in the matchup, hoping to, as you were talking about the pregame, Kobe, allow Rush to play around the map and get Gate to respond first.
Yeah, and as Rush just went through mid lane, Dignitas saw his exit path and triple pinged out. They know he's on this top side of the map. Since he hasn't shown in that ward up top ganking, they would assume that he's either farming one of these 2 quadrants of the jungle on this side. There goes the ward over the Raptor bush side, and Rush knows he's been spotted as well since the buff is procced. everybody aware of the situation.
All right, so 2-on-2 Gankplank versus 1-on-1 Corki. Gold-wise, top lane's pretty close to the same. AD carries actually significant lead for CoreJJ here. We've seen Apollo miss quite a few.
Yeah, the early CSing with Tristana a little bit difficult.
I think
it's interesting. He should be able to. Yeah, he should be able to free farm from this point as long as Adrian shows. There we go. Having your support bud in lane is helpful.
Plays the back, KiWiKid is not going to get him into turret range, so no surprises there.
But
Not
he has
too many
been
barrel tricks.
He has been 1v2 for a lot of this because Adrian was doing the jungle harassment. So it was almost as if Team Impulse was trading a little bit of farm on Apollo, which is surprising since he's been the main carry for them 2 games in a row, albeit on a different champion, for the farm on Rush. We'll see now if Rush can push his advantage on Elise as we approach the mid game.
Ooh, the hook lands, but the Pulverize is going to buy enough time for not a lot of follow-up damage. And actually, KiWiKid taking a fair chunk there. Multiple auto attacks on top of the explosive charge, and now onto the turret they go. Still pre-7 minutes, so auto attacks not the most threatening thing right now. Charge going to be quite a bit more though.
Apollo wants to burn down this turret as quickly as possible. Even though Gamsu is a little bit behind, fairly even in gold with Impact here, he's getting a lot of extra gold just because he's Gankplank and he's plundering from the minions with his parlay.
57 bonus so far.
And especially since, as we just saw there, you can set off the barrel and get that bonus on every minion that dies to the barrel explosion. Yeah. There will be a gold discrepancy, even though the numbers are very close.
All right, here's the play. Hook's gonna land. They can't catch up Apollo. He's gonna blow up a barrel pretty soon. No, Apollo last hits it and he knocks in KiWiKid. A lot of damage there. Shen will be popped. He jumps in on towards Gamsu. The taunt out of the turret, not gonna be enough damage though.
Yeah, he's gonna lose out on a lot top because Corki's been pressuring and Shen has been at his turret this entire time. That was it's a very big wave.
That is a huge wave.
But can they shove him off the turret here? Like, it could be equalized if they can shove him out of experience range.
Yeah, Team Impulse needs to make something positive happen here. I'd say it was kind of an unneeded teleport, but now he teleports back to get... He actually didn't get the wave. The wave was pretty much dead to the turret already, and they haven't yet secured the turret in the bottom side. They
And he didn't
losing out minorly on these trades.
It's not done yet here. Rush comes in to finish the job. This turret very low. Good defensive ward there from Gamsu. Does see it.
No summoners on KiWiKid, but a heal. That's not the AD carry. No heal.
He's done. KiWiKid 1 hit to go. There's the repel. There's the auto attack. First blood for Rush.
And the turret now. Look out, Gamsu.
Look out. They don't actually finish the turret up. They're just going to go towards him. Head up pulverized orange is used, but it's not going to be K. Gankplank going down. Apollo.
Impact's getting dove on the other side.
Oh my gosh, but it's not really enough. CoreJJ can't do enough damage. He loses a lot of health in that one.
Doesn't have flash though.
Oh, and Rek'Sai shooting him from below.
But Helios is low as well. A failed dive by Team Dignitas, outplayed by Impact it seems. And the Shen should be totally fine here.
So a very long series of events. Team Impulse comes out way ahead.
Way ahead.
But that's mainly with some outplays on all opposite sides. Impact going back and forth, lending a hand everywhere and not getting significantly punished. Meanwhile, all the help he gave bottom gives him a turret and 2 kills.
Elise is just so much better than Rek'Sai in these turret diving scenarios. Helios not able to make it happen, ended up on the wrong side of the turret as well. Meanwhile, Rush was able to not only get the kill, but also allow the extra kill onto Gamsu. Yeah, here is Helios. See, he can't stay in there. Not only is he melee, but...
Core just stopped attacking. Helios was taking the turret, and Core didn't hit him.
Oh my god.
And then he taunts it afterwards.
Huge misplay.
That's what you don't want to have happen when you're 1 game from elimination. That's the thing that can put you over the edge mentally and just have you collapse. They're already down 2,500 gold now against a team who's already beaten them twice. That one hurts.
The champions are not an excuse for that play. That was just rough.
Helios did the smite, knock up, didn't even swing for an auto attack. Maybe he was afraid of a taunt, but I think it was down at that time. And yeah, CoreJJ really just had to hit him.
Yep.
And it was the kill.
Block out the guy and he goes down.
Right click.
All right, life is okay then for Team Impulse. 2,000 gold lead for them. Mid lane pressured pretty heavily. 7 minion lead for Gate. About what you expect for a Kog'Maw lane here. The rest of the team able to keep playing aggressively. Bottom lane outer turret's dead, so the whole team roams up here. 4 men on top of the blue buff to deny this from Shiphtur. 2 men knock if they really want this fight. A fire back on Adrian, who pops his own ulti. Spite takes away the blue buff, and now the battle push is on. KiWiKid gonna get dropped out. Gate gets the kill here. All 5 members in the bottom lane, Team Impulse, making it happen.
Even though Impact Shen is 0-0-1, he's had an impact on every single facet of this game. Setting up the kills bottom, Gamsu's there, it's a 5v4, it allows them to steal blue buff, force another kill, and get a dragon. This is turning into a very large Impulse advantage.
Definitely is, Jatt. 200 health, there's the Q from Elise, there's the pickup here. 2,500 gold, dragon number 1, feels pretty good for all the Team Impulse players here. 1 game to go to meet CLG in the semifinals. 3-0 start could feel quite nice. Watch that fight one more time.
Yeah, so this is the benefits of Alistar Ultimate. He's free to go on the front lines, pops his ult right after he gets his combo off. That bought enough time for them to take the blue. Shen teleport does come in as well. Not even necessary. KiWiKid going down, and Impulse on their way to closing this out, heading to the semifinals. Already in their sights, and they have not had to show much. Completely ignoring Sivir the entire time. Yeah. Just repeat pickups of Shen and Elise. Gate has definitely showed up.
No ultimate for Adrian, though. That's trouble.
Takes a whole bunch of damage. 1 hit away from dead. There's a push on it. Oh, no!
Oh, big one!
Barely gets the rocket out in time. Exhaust or not. No trade kill available. Nice pickup for Dignitas, showing signs of life.
Yeah, Helios ganking the right lane here. If someone's going to have a mid-game snowball, it's going to be CoreJJ. He has a CS and level advantage.
Right there.
I think a Spiderling tanked the
Was it
anyway?
Point blank right in front of his face?
Yeah, because I didn't see the hook go anywhere.
Yeah.
Noble effort.
Noble effort.
Flashing into the cocoon.
Yeah, but honestly, CoreJJ is going to be the one that has to take it back in the mid-game here. He's going to have a pretty big advantage on Apollo, who's gone Avarice Blade on Trist, especially if he gets Trinity Force with his level advantage.
Yeah.
And they really, really need that, because every other lane is flailing right now.
See if they can salvage this one. Level 8 Gankplank kill trying to scale up is going, of course, for Trinity Force. I think you need Sheen and level 9 to one-shot caches, but when that happens, you get a whole lot of gold income from minion waves. And that could be Gamsu really opening this up. It'll be hard for Impact to deny barrels, and you can really have a huge push lead in the Gankplank matchup coming mid-game. And we'll see if the texture of the game changes because of that.
It's just, when you're facing a front line like Shen and Alistar as the Gankplank, it's fairly difficult to set up the barrel chain for the teamfight scenario.
Yeah, it moves a lot.
So we'll see how he executes, but yes, he will have a good income as far as the mid-game is concerned. Plundering away versus Shen, but see if he's able to translate it into teamfight effectiveness.
Azir soldiers do count as attacks on barrels. If you summon 2 soldiers, you can kill it from outside of parlay range, because you can hit it at 2 HP. So Gate actually has some interesting gameplay around the barrels to completely deny them. It's a minor point.
Yeah, the other thing is you got to get used to shooting your parlay as it's ticking down. There is travel time there that a melee champion can kill the barrel before you. A couple of nuances.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Another one of interesting note, if you cast a barrel at max range and just walk up in Q, you'll blow it up. It ticks down fast enough that you can't screw that up at max range. Impact in the battle with Gamsu gets away from the barrel, but the explosion gives him the fiery blade to fire back. Gamsu still trying to farm up, but he's under turret at half HP.
Yeah, this Sunfire Cape versus Phage seems a little slanted right now in the favor of Impact. He's been able to stack armor early in these lanes and at least neutralize, if not push Gamsu in a little bit.
So keep in mind the rest of the team is magic-based. Shiphtur, though, cocooned in the back lines. Gonna get a lantern to stay safe. But mid lane outer goes down, well pressured out. Gate gonna have his team the 2nd turret kill of the game. TP back to the top for Gankplank, and this should actually start being a lot more farm.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to show how Team Dignitas is losing out very heavily on the map pressure advantage. 14 minutes in, having to burn your teleport to get back top lane in a 1v1, they really need that added pressure for teleport. Yes, Gankplank can assist with an ultimate, but it's just not the same as teleporting in versus what Impact can offer.
He's phoning it in. He's not actually there in the lane with you. Adrian gets the flash, and Tristana half a screen away. Apollo didn't even have to show himself.
I'm surprised even flashed. You
So much for his summoner spells.
There's just so much map pressure when you have a Shen plus the Azir in the mid lane, able to take that mid turret and set up his own outpost. Impulse can close on all three sides with the turret pushing presence of Tristana and Shen down bottom, ultimate ready. They're basically covering all of their bases. Dignitas trying to huddle together here.
Damage on the KiWiKid, down to half HP. Rush chasing him down with the Cinderhulk. Oh, misses the combo. Adrian not gonna feel good about that one. Exhausted, the CoreJJ kill still comes through. Shenulti onto Adrian as well, and they're still looking for someone to knock down. They've already picked up one. Helios may be the second. Explosive charges on. Double kill, actually. The kills just keep going over to Rush. Yeah, a couple of trades back. Nice done by Shiphtur. Picks up another one. CoreJJ helping out. And now Impact on the wrong side of this fight. Adrian in the wrong spot as well. Still a kill picked up, though. Now onto Shiphtur they go. Soldiers come around, more damage coming through. Will they get Impact in time? Maybe the passive does it. Summoner healed, he stays alive. Wow. 7-3 in kills.
Heal on Azir, and it saves him at the end right there. Impulse with a boldly aggressive play right there. Coming out.
It's just not the same. Gankplank ultimate.
It's not the same as having a real person there.
You gotta be there. They will get at least an answer down bottom lane, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that happens here. They start the fight, actually, with the numbers advantage, 3v2. Rek'Sai comes in and equalizes it, but yeah, one Shen can come up, and Gankplank cannot answer because this was a very chaotic fight. Team Impulse is in between turrets, so there's really no retreat by the time Shiphtur comes in here, and it's game on. Shiphtur does a good job securing a couple of kills and getting a big amount of gold for JJ as well. The strong members of Team Dignitas need to show up, but there's a Shen here, and Gate is able to get kills as a beneficiary.
And as we just saw, that was all of the mobility summoners from Dignitas carries burned to get those kills. The Ghost, the Flash from Shiphtur, and the Flash from CoreJJ.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah,
not a good
CoreJJ
thing.
knows. Summoners, get the lantern, he wants it!
CoreJJ, okay, gets out of the lantern, gets out, but there's the two-man pulverize. Follow-up damage isn't there. Good play back up, but Gate is here. The knockback catches the AD carry clean in the jaw, and now KiWiKid's also going to go down here. Rocket jump in. Rush with his 5th kill of the game on this Elise, taking over. Team Impulse very far ahead.
I'm liking this Rylai's more and more out of Rush as we see these fights extend on, because he's just landing a ranged Q with these things, and there is no escape after that. It's comboing into the cocoon so well. Obviously, that is what we expected, but because they're forcing these extended skirmishes, it's not so much about the quick spell rotation, it's about the longer fight, and it's just growing this lead more and more.
Once again, lack of coordination here from Dignitas. Gamsu nowhere to be found. Didn't even ultimate in that last fight. Does get the turret up top, but that's very little in the way of an answer here for Team Dignitas, and Impulse are looking to make this a pretty clean 3-0.
That would be a really nice thing for Impulse, who only fall to the very, very end of the split, a single game loss to Team Liquid. Otherwise, he would have been coming into the series on a 9-game winning streak or more, but still pretty solid here, looking to take down Team Dignitas.
For Team Dignitas, though, they do have the double Trinity Force and Luden's Echo Spike coming in for them. So Gamsu's got his Trinity Force, CoreJJ does as well. They at least have the items now that they were building towards. The problem is they're so far behind right now, even with those item spikes. They're just, Impulse just have so much more money. It outweighs the power.
So long road ahead then for Team Dignitas to catch up. It's actually Trinity Force, not Sheen. It's required for the caster to get one shot by barrel. So now Gamsu actually gets money coming in. All right, might get a bit better for him.
5 kills on the Rush's Elise, by the way, as well.
Rylai's Sightstone really tanky, really scary. Top lane outer goes down. The Tristana Demolition works out. This will be answered though. CoreJJ has Trinity Force, so these single item spike champions all have their single item spikes right now. I don't know if Team Dignitas wants to fight a 6,000 gold deficit team fight though. That might make things really difficult.
Well, in each of the
Gamsu's cornered here, and they do not have any vision inside their red jungle.
Man.
That was a big barrel. Yeah, a lot of Gangplanks put the barrel inside brushes, so if anyone walks close, it's a free detonate. But in both of these games this series, there has been a decent-sized misstep by Team Impulse in the mid-game that has allowed Dignitas a little bit of a bridge back into the game. It actually gave Team Dignitas a lead in Game 1. It wasn't enough to bring them back to even in Game 2, and this may be their largest deficit of the series at 19 minutes here, so even if Team Impulse makes a mistake, they may need multiple of those things.
Yeah.
Or it's the question of, has Team Impulse cleaned up their play enough to not make that mid-game mistake, and can they just close this one decisively?
Well, they have extensive warding on the red quadrant, and Baron is about to come up for Impulse. They've already headed over to the area as well. Will they go for a bait or try and kill it on spawn on 20 minutes here? Looks like they are going to try and kill it on 20 minutes. Comes up and it goes down. Shiphtur going to try and check with his ultimate, but the rest of Team Dignitas lagging behind.
Rek'Sai and Thresh for bot lane. Shiphtur defends.
It's dead.
There it is. Wow. Took 16 seconds. Baron Nashor's gone. Team Impulse so far ahead now.
Nashor's tooth used against him. Gate able to burn him down.
The ultimate revenge. Yeah, Azir, one of the best Baron killers in the game, especially having Nashor's for that extra DPS. Multiple soldiers hit.
Emphasis on the D.
All right, cresting into 21 minutes into this one. 7,500 gold. Impulse, look like they're only one team fight away from getting into the semifinals here in North America. They've been in the semis last time around, but they unfortunately failed and got 4th place in the spring split. They may just improve upon it this time around, coming in as a 3rd seed. Mid lane under fire. Gate playing the pressure game. Knocking down the 2nd turret now in the mid lane.
This is a gargantuan lead. They may actually just consider doing a turret dive. They have a team comp to do so. Having Alistar, probably the best guy if you ever want to dive an inhibitor turret.
You don't even need a whole comp. Just you got Alistar, check. We can do turret.
Right. Those turrets have 85% armor penetration, so the only way you can actually tank it is with straight damage reduction or just a boatload of health like a Mundo. Alistar's pretty much the best at it, but they're not even having to dive right now. Gankplank still split pushing. You need him there. They're giving away an inhibitor.
He's not going to be there at all. Team Dignitas aside. You know what? We can't defend this even with Gankplank. I assume is the call there, so screw it. Let him get a little bit more money. I don't know, but that was the choice made right here.
Yep.
And now bottom lane easily under fire. Impact did teleport to get himself back to the left-hand side. Of course, he's got the ulti still to defend his team. And bot lane tier 2 goes down. Impulse with their 6th turret kill here. They're getting some farm onto Gamsu. He's going towards what looks like Maw Mortius. The farm is not enough. It's just the base falling over and over and over again. Impulse getting farther ahead.
Maybe the dive here. I mean, they don't have to dive if they can just sit down.
What even stops them there? Okay, Gankplank ulti buys some time.
They got Adrian's ultimate out and hooked him back in.
They do hook him in, but there's a flash. Oh, God. KiWiKid's already dead. Exhausted the back line to get one kill back, though. Shiphtur picks one up, but Helios pretty low on this one. One more hit will do it. Double kill for Gate. Now rushing the wrong side. Flashes. Dodges the rocket. Oh my God, they caught Shiphtur, and they take him down. Now, can he get much more? CoreJJ wants in. He gets a lot of kills picked up, actually. It's a 4-for-3 and advantage to Team Dignitas.
Because the Alistar ultimate started so early, it ran off while it was in turret range, and it killed him off before Impact was able to arrive at the fight. This is the one time Dignitas had a numbers advantage in the entire game. They do get the cleanup of kills, though.
Thing is, even with the numbers advantage, Team Impulse didn't have to dive into the base. This is the 10K gold advantage greed. You get a little bit of money, you just want more. So, Gate, I want to watch him in this fight. He's going for it. So yes, as you mentioned, Adrian, damage reduction runs out. That's the reason Shen wasn't able to shield him enough there. And Rush just, he's up.
He's thinking about it.
He's in. But there's no retreat here. Gate, it bounced so far because it pushed him up against the wall. It had to push him to the other side of the wall, which is actually too far. It put Shiphtur in position to do more damage. They couldn't follow up.
It caused
on the
Rush
wall.
to miss his cocoon as well. And Rush takes a lot of damage on it.
All right.
Hilarious series of events, but in the end, Impulse still with a massive lead and control over the entire map. This dragon should be number 3 for them, no questions asked.
Wildman inhibitor threat at about 1/3 health. Dragon number 3, similarly at 1/3 health. now at 0 health.
Yep, that'll do it.
The intense play-by-play of Dragon Fights.
Yeah, how much of the turret did they actually kill up in that lane as well? It's not regenning that quickly, obviously. That turret's at 800 health right now.
Yeah.
So that's a Trist.
Pretty much one full charge explosive.
Yeah.
You count the 4 auto attacks.
Or just one or two autos engage, pressing W on it could do it.
Another engage. They catch on the KiWiKid. Aggro, though, goes on to someone who is not the Alistar, though. They nearly pick up Impact, who pops his ulti, but can't save the Tristana. Gankplank's doing so much damage at the second kill in the last 5 minutes here. The chase on Adrian, trying to run away. Barrows hits him. That's going to be one picked up, I assume. Pulverizing a headbutt, not going to be enough. Gamsu on a killing spree, and it's Infinity Edge. Gangplank going to do so much work.
Another mistake. Well, he doesn't have it Infinity Edge yet. Another mistake from Impulse, and this is giving a huge amount of gold back to a team with AP Kog'Maw. Never want to count those out.
You just can't count them out. AP Kog'Maw is too strong, and we said Team Impulse is making one mistake in the first 2 games. Well, this is kind of their second mistake if you consider it. The same mistake on the same objective twice. They overpush. Turret aggro is improperly traded. Apollo takes a bunch of damage right there from Gankplank.
Impact annihilated by the inhibitor turret. Then it swapped over to Apollo as well, and Gankplank made short work of him. Plus, the entire Alistar ultimate mitigated no damage at all. There was nothing on him. Impulse cannot afford many more of those. Maybe 2, maybe 1 more.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of money. Maybe they can afford to do that 1 more time, but...
Well, Gamsu's already plundered more than 1,000 gold from Parlay here. So he's got 2 upgrades on his ulti already. I'm gonna actually check the tooltip. It's everything except Death's Daughter. That's weird, actually. I thought everyone actually normally went Death's Daughter first, but he got the increased fire rate and the raise morale move speed buff.
I've seen a lot of people highly valuing the raise morale, actually.
I guess it is guaranteed value if they run away.
For their team fight.
And here comes Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and
Speaking of which,
suddenly Impulse are finding out that, you know, even with Alistar on the dive, they're really not making it that successful.
Doesn't matter if you have Alistar if he's not the one tanking the turret.
Yep.
And his ultimate is running the entire time as well, so then he doesn't get to...
Yeah. All right, well, 2 items for both AD carries, though, i.e. Shiv versus Trinity Force Ruin King, and keep in mind, Corki is actually a pretty solid damage dealer, so... Dignitas suffering a gold deficit, but fighting like they don't have one here.
their inhibitors respawn as well.
Yep.
The main challenge will be whether or not they can contain this Baron that is spawning right now. Obviously, they got it right at 20 minutes, so it's coming up again at 27. This time, AP Kog'Maw can be a little bit more prepared. They shouldn't be caught off guard by a Baron this time, but they still have relatively poor Baron in their own jungle, or coverage of vision in their own jungle, but they have wards towards the Baron pit, which will buy them a little bit of time.
Gamsu given pretty good harassment for his impact as well.
Ulti popped to buy some time. Of course, it does reveal, so Impulse going to run away and not.
Really early Shen out there by Impact. He's had some bad experiences this game with the target dying and not making it in, so he's, I guess, just guaranteeing that he's in the fight. But they lose the in-fight impact of that ultimate.
And they do. Well, Team Impulse looking maybe back to the mid lane, but it's AP Kog'Maw. It's pretty hard to deal with. Their last attempt at Baron, they had to abort right away. Trade ultis to the top laners. And they didn't even get to keep a pink ward in the pit, so they can't even remove all the vision anymore. Impulse realized that they cannot faithfully go for Baron again. We've got plenty of time to go until Dragon number 4. It's going to respawn around 31 minutes in, I believe. Nope, close to that. 30 and a half. Impulse once again sweeping away mid. And the siege has slowed down here. Dignitas needs to make the miracle recovery, though. This would be the last game of the year for them if they do not win this.
Looking for the reverse sweep.
Yeah.
For Team Dignitas.
A lot of gold to the inventory right now. There's a lot of items that need to get purchased. Yep, there you go. Gamsu now gets...
How about that wave clear? Gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that Gankplank's income ramps up so quickly in the mid game that once he gets these 2 items, he quickly gets to a full build.
Yeah.
I was watching Quas's stream a couple days ago. He ended up with 4 Infinity Edges at 42 minutes into the game. and maxed out with 6 items. Didn't know what else to build, so he just kept buying them.
That's the cool thing is you actually build just raw attack damage on him.
Yep.
You already get the armor pen from the barrel
you've
explosion.
got crit chance on him and attack damage.
Just care more about that. You don't really see the static shift builds anymore because you'd rather have the barrel explosion than the lightning. So it's probably, I would guess actually it's Bloodthirster second, more so than Infinity Edge.
Fun fact, he crit with his barrel explosions for 2,600 damage.
Sounds about right.
My goodness.
So they have the Gankplank and the AP Kog'Maw.
Hey, there you go. Hey. The problem is trying to get one of those explosions to land on Impulse. But if he does, it absolutely demolishes them.
Yeah.
He's gotten a few off by smartly placing them in rushes as Team Impulse has been trying to siege turrets.
Let's see the outplay here.
Brandwoods and Sunfire.
Shen's already used the taunt, so out he goes.
I wanted to see that fight. Come on.
It'll take a while.
Impact felt like he had the upper hand.
Impact had cavalry, so that's not really fair. He knew that he had an entire team coming.
Gamsu would win the 1v1. I'm actually pretty certain of that.
I mean, that move right there by Impact influences the map pressure for this Dragon. He has been in most of the important places for Team Impulse this game.
Yeah.
4 Dragons starts that count for 5th. However, of teams to lose with 5 Dragons, AP Kog'Maw has been on the other side of that 2 times, and the only 2 times that team couldn't pick up a Dragon of their own. So it's actually not as important as it would normally be for Team Dignitas to get a Dragon, just because of how ridiculous Shiphtur can scale on AP Kog'Maw. No lead is really ever safe against a late-game AP Kog'Maw.
Absolutely not. 3 items now on the AD carry of Team Dignitas as well, meaning for the time being, CoreJJ is actually more threatening than Apollo until that Bloodthirster gets completed. And even then it's debatable. Still more damage coming through on this Gankplank, sitting on 300 gold. We've got a while to go till the upgrades further, but it just gets scarier and scarier and scarier. This Gankplank can also use those barrels with wards. They last 1 minute and reveal a little bit of area around them. So Dignitas have stopped the siege value because they can wave clear. They seem to be stopping Baron really easily with all the ward coverage they're getting and all the scariness they have. And the team fights themselves. You got Kog'Maw and AD Gankplank. Like, those are hard to deal with champions here. So Impulse need to figure out the right way to close this game out, it seems.
The wave clear is just so good for Team Dignitas. Gamsu clears it with 1 barrel. Corki can clear well. Shiphtur can clear well. Baron is absolutely required to get anywhere with the siege. Maybe even a Banner of Command, but they're nowhere close to that because it looks like going Zeke's Harbinger on Adrian.
Heck, the Banner Bait just dies to a barrel explosion practically. Even that would
because that's the physical damage.
Yeah.
So that'll stop.
If he crits it, it actually kills the minion outright. If he doesn't crit it, like, goes to half. We're seeing 600 damage, not counting barrel explosion. So to champions, it's an 860 damage barrel before crit. Oh, nicely timed by Impact. Set up 2. There it is. 488 with all his armor, with everything else.
218 armor.
And I believe that wasn't a crit because the minions are for 600.
Yeah, wait till he gets core Infinity Edge.
Yeah! Hey man, this is the tons of damage build. You have my 2 favorite items. Trinity Force and Infinity Edge. I couldn't be happier. Alright, Bunny Fufu.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
It better be Cottontail. Impact doing a really good job of last hitting those barrels away. But you only get to make that mistake about twice and you just lose. Keep in mind, the passive from Gankplank also deals true damage and scales with attack damage. So he can just, like, he does win the 1v1 against Impact.
It does make you nervous trying to defuse that bomb when you have a split second before it explodes in your hand. The red wire
progression here. Of this series even, I mean, Team Impulse jumps out to leads, then they make some mistakes.
They're just waiting for their dragon stacking. Basically what they want to do is chain their neutral objectives, grab the 5th dragon into a Baron for the final push because they've messed up their dives 2 times in a row. I was saying they could afford to do it 1 more time, but they don't think they can even afford to do it 1 more time. They're not taking that risk.
I'd be hesitant.
And Shiphtur and Gamsu definitely making them second guess themselves, so they're going to wait it out.
Yeah, you give up Baron if you die too badly, so. Alright, defensive for Impulse. Just keeping the ward control up, playing around the dragon, as you said, Kobe. And really, Team Dignitas is getting farm in a whole lot of places. Minion lead for their top laner and their AD carry here.
How many chances will they get?
One interesting point, though, is the fact that I feel like KiWiKid should have made the dip to switch to coin at some point, because the gold income, by just running between every single wave that like loses minions, he would have had probably 600-700 gold from Ancient Coin. He's only got 300 from his Relic Shield.
Yeah, especially if he's not going to upgrade to face them out for the active shield.
Well,
but
yeah,
at the same time,
even if you do go with the active shield, that's not going to save you from the dive. I feel like the move speed for both carries is so valuable. The cooldown on Talisman active being so low provides a lot of disengage for Kog'Maw and Corki.
But I got the Locket Shield for KiWiKid, unlocking a more selfish build of Helios. We're not seeing that same Zeke's builds from the first game. I'm sad. I love that item. And here we go, actually. Rush.
The Baron threat saves Rush.
He didn't even have Smite there. We saw Death Daughter was there, so fully upgraded Canna Barrage for Gankplank here. And here's once again a battle against Impact. Another Baron. There's the Q. 666 damage.
You chase him down.
More crits. I mean, Impact cannot win this fight, and he's out of energy.
He has to get to a wall.
Yeah, he can run, at least. There's no Gankplank ult to help chase. We're really seeing, though, the tools that Team Dignitas has to stop Team Impulse from closing this game. They're pushing them easily off of Baron. They're even pushing them off of the waves. There's been an exposed inhibitor for the last 15 minutes, pretty much, and it's been untouched.
This is huge for Team Dignitas, being able to clear out the true side in Baron Pit and finally establish some of their own
if they commit.
hordes.
Oh, and they're going to go for this one. Blade of the Ruin King is up, plus Crit Plank is here, so this is going to be a lot of damage. Impact teleports in. A knockup actually on some pretty important people.
That was just the biggest bluff in the world by Impact. His support was so far behind. Team Dignitas had the window to burst down that Baron, but they did not have the vision to know it.
Flashlight catches Rush, but he has nowhere to jump. He's going to go right back down, slow in the box. The catch! Oh, the Gate! Gate knocks him in. He flashes out. He stays safe. Impact burns the TP, burns the ulti rather. Into the front line they go, and they've picked off Shiphtur. They've picked off Gamsu. Two of the biggest carry threats are gone. CoreJJ, the third, is down. That might be the game.
Unbelievable right there. Team Dignitas holds out so well, but it's a fight that they pick yet again that could be their undoing.
The double summoner spending there from Gate, getting himself out, and the re-engage from Adrian. Team Impulse looks like they will be able to close out the third game. Not so cleanly, though.
Not so cleanly, but it was all Impulse wanted, just a fight of 5v5 on open ground. No turrets to defend you this time around, and the battle works out. A 3-for-0 to end it. That's going to be the game. Rush, 7-2-8, the scoreline for him. 3-0, Team Impulse into the semifinals.
Big win for them as they try and move towards Worlds as well, locking themselves down at least a top 4 spot, and they'll definitely be going to Madison Square Garden as well. All without Xiao. Gate filling in very well, being able to escape in that last fight. But definite red flags coming up in this series. Not able to close the game in decisive fashion. A lot of big mistakes, and ultimately, it had to be, in most games, Team Dignitas initiating onto them, and then having Team Impulse win the fight, which is not the way they like to play.
Game 2 is the only super convincing game there from Impulse, where they had engage tools. They had the Leona come out from Adrian, and he landed a lot of really good engages. Rush had some great cocoons as well. Elise all 3 games. Impact playing Shen all 3 games. It felt like Impulse were trying to hide as many strategies as possible. Play the same style if you can each single game. If they deny champions, well, I guess pick something else, but if they don't, just play the same comp.
Yeah, and ultimately they were never tested. Because they didn't lose a game. They were tested within the game, but the 3-0 is a very clean victory. It's also a fairly disheartening way to lose for Team Dignitas. They had come so far from the promotion tournament into the playoffs with a chance to go to Madison Square Garden, and they were somewhat their own undoing. When they had the game even or equalized, they would overcommit, and they were the ones being punished for that as well. Unfortunate ending to Team Dignitas' season.
All right, well, they end their season now, but we've got more to talk about because we've got Riv on the blue side for a word with